This is Kayla's Crazy Candy, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a X-base cuff. Now I actually don't have one ready in this video, but this is a cuff based off of an X-base cuff. It's a 3D cuff, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the inside of it. Now the reason they call it an X-base is because I don't know how well you can see, but on the inside of 3D cuffs there's these X's. You can see there's this little cross here. Let me focus. There's this little cross of beads right here. You can see that. So this X-base cuff specifically is going to be 2 X's tall. I'm going to show you how to make a 1X tall X-base cuff. So what you're going to need is 2 kinds of beads. I'm going to be using gray for my base color and blue for my accent color. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need elastic string. This is the kind I'm using. And optional is a beading needle. This is really handy for making videos for me to show you guys, so this is what I'm going to use. Alright, so I've already gone ahead and cut my piece of string. I'm going to go ahead and attach my needle to the string, and I will come back once we have that all tied on. Okay, so my needle is now threaded, and what I'm going to do is, for this pattern, you're going to want to take your base color bead, which is gray in my case, put 2 of those on your needle, and 1 of your accent bead, and put that on your needle, so it should look like this. And let those thread down. Now for X-base cuffs, usually what you want to have is increments of 3 as far as your bracelets go, so it should be either 30 beads around, 33 beads around, or 36 beads around. Those are generally the biggest or the most used sizes for X-base cuffs, but you want to keep it in that area. So go ahead and add your pattern in increments of 3 until it fits your wrist, and I will come back after that. Okay, so now what we should have is a pattern of gray, gray, blue, gray, gray, blue, or whatever colors you're choosing, up to either 30 beads, 33 beads, or 36 beads. Now what you're going to do is just tie your knot. I usually like to tie 3. And after you've done that, you should see that here in a second, we've made a single. Now our string is going to be coming out of in between a gray and a blue bead. You can see right here. What you're going to want to do is string into this blue bead right here. So go into that one. Just like this. And you're going to pull your thread all the way through. And now our string is coming out of that blue bead. Next, what you're going to do is we're going to use the same amount of beads that we were using, but instead of going gray, gray, blue, we're going to go gray, blue, gray. So you're going to string on a gray bead, a blue bead, and then a gray bead, like so. And then instead of going through the next bead or skipping one bead and going into the other bead, you can see our needle and our beads are sitting like this. You're going to skip the next 2 gray beads and go into that blue bead sitting next to those. And then once you've gotten that, it should look like this. So it's going to be a blue and 2 gray beads stacked on top of 2 gray beads. And you're going to do that all the way around. So I'll show you one more time. Gray, blue, and then gray. And then skipping the next 2 gray beads, go into this blue bead. Like so. And go ahead and do that all the way around, and then I'll come back once we're finished. So now you can see we're almost to the end of this row, my bad. And what you're going to do is you're going to string on a gray bead, a blue bead, and then one last gray bead. Let those string down. And you can see our starting point is right here. Our end point is right here. You're going to skip the first 2 gray beads next, and then go into that starting blue bead. And then your first row of points is done. And now this is what it should look like. don't worry if it starts to warp, that's normal. The more you build your cuff, the less it's going to warp, and the more upright it's going to stand. And you can build more than one row of X's too. You can build 1, 2, 3, 8 if you really wanted to. It's totally up to you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to string up to the next row. So you can see there's not really a space to start one. What we're going to do is we're going to string into this top gray bead, not the bottom but the top one, and then go into this blue bead. It should look like this. And now you're ready to start row 2. So row 2 is going to be the same pattern that you just did. Gray, blue, gray, go into the blue point, and then continue. And then I will show you what you need to do in order to finish off your cuff. So I will be right back. So now this is what your third row should look like. I've already strung on my pattern. We're going to go through that last blue point. So the first one that you started your row on, go up to the next top gray bead and then the next top blue bead. So you should have blue, gray, blue on your needle, like this. And you're going to pull that through. And it should look like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to string 2 gray beads on, so your base color bead, and you're going to go through, like you were doing earlier, those blue points. So you can see I'm going to go through the first blue point, and what this does is it finishes off your X-base cuff, and it also helps it stand more upright. I'll do it a couple more times for you. So you're going to string on 2 gray, and then go into the next blue point on your cuff, like so. Pull through, and make sure when you're pulling on your string it is kind of tight. But this is what your cuff should start to look like. It's going to start to stand upright instead of flat like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and string on the last couple of beads. Hang on, I need to finish by adding a couple more beads on. Alright, so now your X-base cuff is done. What you're going to do is you're just going to tie it off. So what I like to do is I like to stick my needle in between any of these spacings here that are right next to the needle. And I like to pull my needle through the loop or wrap my needle around, or wrap my thread around the needle and then pull through. And that's going to tie your cuff off. And then all you have to do next is hide your thread and cut the ends off. Here, I'm going to show you how to hide your thread. So I just go into a couple of these extra neat beads next to where the thread's coming out of. Just a few so that way it hides it pretty well. I like to go diagonally downwards. And then you cut that off, and now your X-base is complete. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There will be more videos coming soon. And yeah, let me know if you made one. Have a good day. Bye.